I know. You guys you're out there, and you're chomping at the bit. I know some of you kids don't even know what a bit is and why you would chomp at it, but that's okay. That's okay. Ask someone else. I know you're out there and you're thinking, when is Paul going to come on the radio, and when is he going to talk about what happened in Texas? Well, that would be today. So calm down. We've got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of stories, a lot of references, a lot of source material, a lot of stories and pictures and videos that we've been sorting through over the last couple of days. But welcome back to Student of the Gun Radio. It is midweek. It is Wednesday. Yay! And that means it's SWAT Fuel Fitness Talk Day. That means that it is, well, whatever it is that you do. I don't know. You know, a lot of people don't work Monday through Friday, Jared. A lot of people work like, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, stuff like that. So, yeah, some people have TV and radio shows and internets that need to be updated, websites that need to be updated, so they always work all the time.
Oh, yeah. I'll go ahead and make an announcement.
Go ahead and make that announcement, Hippie.
If you guys have been going to studentofthegun.com or studentofthegunradio.com or patriotfireteam.com or any of that stuff, you'll notice that since the last week, I think it was, when our previous host decided
our previous web host
that
decided
they didn't want to
they
do
decided
their
to
job.
fornicate us.
Yeah.
They
so
fornicated us.
they did that, and I decided that was the last straw. That was probably the third time in the last 6 months or whatever. So I decided to migrate to a new host who promises to treat us better, and we'll see how that works. He's shaking his doll over there. So we're in the migration phase right now. We're going to have a brand new website ready for you soon. My plan is by next Monday, and I'm going to be working tirelessly doing that for you. Tirelessly. There will be a lot of tire in it.
It won't be tirelessly. It'll be tiring.
Yeah.
Oh, come on now. No, Jared, as Jared alluded to, that we've got a new face of Student of the Gun. We're upgrading. We've got a lot of new stuff going on right now. Did I tell the audience our sinister plan that I hatched last year about control?
Probably, but we've got new listeners.
Well, I may not have shared this with you. Maybe I did, but about a year or so ago, when you, I'll set it up like this: when you are a producer or a talent or a when I say talent, yeah, that's what it's called. Shut up. When you talk, when you write, when you make video material, when you dance like a monkey in front of the cameras, like I do, when you do that, when you create material, there's always someone out there. There's always an entity or several entities that want to take your material and have control over it as they sell it and make money off of it. I'll give you a fantastic example. Magazine writing for magazines. Lots of them are out there. Well, actually fewer than there ever has been. But back in the 80s and 90s, you had huge publishers in New York primarily and some on the West Coast. And they got freelance writers to write them stories, take pictures for them, and so forth. They pay the writers, and then they control the material. Now, generally you get, I hope I'm not boring you, but you get what they call first North American publishing rights. That's what good pro photographers do. When they sell their pictures, they sell first North American publishing rights, and that's it. So that the publisher doesn't own your work infinitum until the end of the world. Amen. Now, there are some publishers out there who think that they should pay you a couple of $100 or what have you, then they own your pictures and stories until the end of the world. Amen. Now, and I've encountered these people over the last 20 plus years. I've been getting paid to write for a couple of decades. The reason that I mention this is because whether it's writing, whether it's producing the TV material, whether it's producing the audio material, there's generally a third party out there, whether it's a channel or a publishing company or whatever, that they want to own your material. They basically give you a royalty, and then they make the lion's share of the money off of it. And that's fine. And, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, if you wanted to publish a book, if you wanted to write for a magazine, if you wanted to do television, whatever, you had to convince a third party that your material was worth it, but then you also had to allow them to own it, to control it, to decide where it was going to be distributed, when it could be distributed. Well, it's 2015 now, and even in 2014 this applied. You don't have to do that anymore. You still can, but you don't have to. And so last year, Jared and I started the move towards not only controlling the production of everything we do, whether it's video material, whether it's written material, the audio material that you're listening to right now, to also controlling the distribution of it, how you get to hear it, how you get to see it, how you get to read it. And up to, the last decade or so, if you wanted people to hear your words, read your words, listen to your words, somebody else had to approve them, had to control them. Well, they take the money for that. Let me tell you what, you want to become a wealthy writer? Good luck. Because, my friend Tom Gresham said, he goes, you want to make $2 million as a writer, or make $1 million as a writer, you start with $2 million, and then 10 years later you'll have $1 million left. You don't make money at it. And the reason it is because, let's face it, the publishing companies, the television channels, the people that you see on, I hope I'm not breaking anybody's chi here, but when you watch these reality shows, whatever it is, American Guns or Moms of L.A. or whatever kind of stupid reality show you're watching, you see it and you think, oh man, those people that are the stars of that whatever reality show, they're on TV. They've got it made. No, they don't. They really don't have it made. Folks, do you know why reality TV is so popular? Not with you, but with television companies and production companies? Because it's this little word called cheap talent. Yes, cheap talent. When you pay Screen Actors Guild performers, you have to pay them a certain amount of money, and they all have attorneys and agents. And so the agents set up the contracts. You have to pay them royalties. You pay them a considerable amount of your production budget goes into paying the talent, right? When you go to Little Miss Honey Boo Boo or whatever, you go to Pig Fart, Arkansas, and decide to do a reality show about people that cobble shoes or something on the side of a mountain, whatever money you give those people seems like a fortune to them at the time. Then you promote it as Discovery or Net Geo or whatever. And the people making the money are the channels, the Discovery channels. The people you see on those shows, they don't make any money. And that's why they're so popular. What we're doing right now as Student of the Gun, Jared and I, we're kind of converting, and we're in the process of producing and controlling the distribution of every single thing we have. And that's taken some time. But it's happening, and we're realizing that dream that basically started a year plus ago. So we don't have to get the approval of XYZ. We don't have to pay someone XYZ to send you the TV shows. That's why we moved over to app television. That's why we're on Roku now. That's why we put our toes in the water last year and tested out this Roku thing and this Apple TV thing and Chromecast and all that. That's why we did that. So we truly appreciate you coming along with us for the ride. It's some of you have been along with us for going on 2 years now, 2 years plus, because the radio show is over 2 years old now. And we appreciate you being out there. We appreciate you following the newsletter and what have you. And so as you're seeing, you're like, what's going on with Student of the Gun? Well, that's what's going on. Did I explain that correctly, Jared?
Yeah, that was correct. And we've had some people contacting us about possibly joining their networks, putting our radio show on their network. And that's in addition to what we're already doing. And I've got an assignment for you guys that can hear my voice right now. I want you, if you've heard of RedStateTalkRadio.com or Red State Talk Radio, write in, let me know what you think about it, and if you haven't, do some research for me. And you as the listener, you as our audience, you know where we'll fit better than we do, really, because you listen to us. I'm sure you listen to other people as well. So check out Red State Talk Radio and let us know if we would be a good fit on there. I did a little researching into it, but I need some help from you guys.
Oh, speaking of stuff, are you guys checking out, have you checked out gundistrict.com yet?
I've been getting some notifications from some people that they're on there and they've liked the Student of the Gun, or they followed me, Jared Markle.
All right.
Are you on there as a personal page?
Yeah, but I'm on there as Professor Paul.
That's what.
But yeah, if you have not taken the time to do that yet, do me a favor. If you have any interest in social media at all, some of you guys are like, I'm not doing that at all. Okay, fine, don't. But those of you that complain about Twitter or Facebook being anti-gun, okay, rock on. There's an alternative. It's called gundistrict.com, and it is very, very super pro-gun. So take a moment and go to gundistrict.com, and if you're there or when you get there, follow Student of the Gun. It's real super simple. Jared took the time to formulate a page. It's brand new. It hasn't been there very long at all. So before we get too deep into it, because we've been talking for a while now, I want to take a moment to welcome our friends Frog Lube to the Student of the Gun radio family. Now you're like, oh, come on, Paul. I watch your show. I know that Frog Lube's been with you for a couple of years. Yes, they have. They came on a couple of years ago as a television show sponsor. And we talked to them here recently, and they said they would like to get involved with the radio program. So they are now. And so welcome, Frog Lube. And if you guys want to find out more about Frog Lube, go to froglube.com. You're like, all right, some of you out there listening to my voice, what is this guy talking about? Are you supposed to lubricate your frog so it can jump better, or what are we doing? No, Frog Lube it's a non-petroleum based lubrication. It's a cleaner lubricant, CLP. How many of you guys know that CLP is a generic term, not a specific term? CLP stands for Cleaner Lubricant Protectant, and Break Free is actually the product name for what you probably call CLP. There are lots of different products out there that can be technically referred to as CLP, and Frog Lube is one of those. But Frog Lube, I'm not going to take the time to explain like the complete ins and outs. It was the guy who owns the company is a former U.S. Navy SEAL, hence the name Frog Lube. Get it, Frogman? Now you're tracking with me, aren't you? And he found this product and started using it on his guns, and he said, hey, it works really well. I bet people would like this. It's green. It smells minty fresh. You can get kits that have both a solvent and a lubricant, because, yes, I know you're like, what? I have to actually clean my guns once I lube them? Yeah, you kind of have to. Not a lot, but you still have to do that. People think they can just keep dumping lube on top of dirty guns over and over and over and over again. And you might think, well, I have a gun that I can do that with. Yeah, well, not everybody does. So check out Frog Lube, and they have a Facebook page, right, Jared? Is it just Facebook /
It's Frog Lube on Facebook.
Okay, so they
just search Frog Lube.
Yeah, just go to Facebook, search Frog Lube. Now, there's several different people that sell it, but the main page says something like Nevada, or it says Frog Lube Nevada, or something like that. I think they got. Do me a favor, look it up real quick. So, because if you just put in the word Frog Lube, you're going to get like 4 or 5 different. The guy who sells it in your local county or something like that. But like we did with Velocity Triggers and all the other sponsors, since they are a new sponsor, what we'd like you to do is if you have the time and if you're on Facebook, go over there, go to their site and say, hey, heard about you guys on Student of the Gun. We appreciate you being there so they can keep their black carbon steel microphones from rusting. Did you find it?
Yeah, facebook.com/froglube.
Okay. And how many followers do they have so they'll know?
54,000.
Okay, so if you go to one that has like 280, that's not the official page. The one that has 54,000, that is the official page. All right, so welcome, Frog Lube. Thank you for being there. And Frog Lube, when we went to Tennessee last December, we liberally applied Frog Lube to our Century Arms guns, to the C-39s, to the RPK, and to our TP9 SA. After we got it all dirty and dry, we cleaned it, put Frog Lube on it, and it worked great. So check out Century Arms, centuryarms.com. They've got a brand new website, lots of new products for you guys. If you haven't taken a look at their products in a while, if you haven't looked at Century Arms website in 3 months, you need to do it because it's all new. And Crossbreed Holsters, our friends at Crossbreed Holsters. I'm wearing one right now in the studio in my chair. So is Jared. So if you need to carry a gun, if you want to carry a gun, if you desire to secure a gun to your body or something, Crossbreed Holsters has got it for you.
Oh, I wore mine to a wedding last weekend.
Did you really? You're wearing yours at the wedding? Good job. All right, well, it's Wednesday, so it's time for me to be quiet and Jared to talk.
As promised last week, I told you I'd talk about endurance this week, or endurance, depending on how you say it. How long you last may be life or death. And you know what I like to call that?
What?
The honeymoon mindset.
Ooh, the honeymoon mindset. Yeah. Oh.
How long you last may be life or death.
And explain to me why that's the honeymoon mindset.
I can't do that because this is a public hour. But seriously.
But wink, wink, nod, nod, you get it? Okay.
Yeah. Your endurance in a fight may be the difference between life and death. And how can you increase your endurance? Like slow twitch muscles. I've talked about that before. Develop your slow twitch muscles. Run for distance. So one thing that I've talked about before, but I'll mention again, is instead of running for time, like instead of running for 30 minutes, then run for distance. Go 5 miles instead of just for 30 minutes. And what you're doing is a lot of people, if they go for 30 minutes, doesn't matter how far they get, they'll stop. But why are you tilting your head? He's tilting his head over there.
No, you continue, and there's something that's just, it's one of those things that's so stupid that it hurts your brain. But okay. You can continue.
His brain was hurting. I could see it. Slow twitch muscles, core exercises such as kettlebells. I'll be talking about that in detail. I'm going to go over an actual kettlebell routine on this season 6 of Student of the Gun TV, and I can't take you seriously through the glass. That's funny. I can't wait to talk about what he's looking at. So core exercises, kettlebells. I'll be talking about that on the TV. I'll give you an entire routine. That's a routine I use, and it was funny yesterday when I was working out. Dixon, my trainer, he was looking at me while I was punching the bag, and he goes, "Fedor, did you get skinny?" I was like, "No."
He just noticed that you lost some weight?
Yeah, and actually I haven't really lost any weight. I just transformed it from fat to muscle. Yeah. I stepped on the scale and I was actually heavier than I was before. And that's another thing that, okay, especially women, the number on the scale does not matter. It doesn't. Stop looking at the number on the scale. It's a benchmark. But what really matters is the ratio of pounds of muscle that you have on your body and pounds of fat. That's what really matters. So what I would recommend is getting a body scan done. They actually have this thing that they sell that you can buy yourself, plug it into your laptop, and it tells you how many pounds of muscle, how many your caloric intake.
Your caloric intake. Is that like intake. the things that you hold on to tell you how many thetans you have and how much you're supposed to pay the Scientology church?
Are you the 2-plate man? That's funny. Anyway, so last one to finish the fight is usually, last one to finish the fight is obviously the winner. But if you think about it, MMA fights, for example, the person that has the most endurance is usually the winner. The one that can outlast the 30 seconds of strength or the 1 round of strength. And then the other person comes back tired and then you're jumping around like you have as much energy as when you started. That's usually who wins the fights.
It's also, and if you're in sports, I notice this is, if you watch fights, there's a mental advantage actually from during ring rounds of the guy who sits down and the guy who doesn't. There's some guys that are just between rounds are so exhausted that they go and they sit down, right? And then you've got other guys that their corner brings up a stool and they're like, no, I don't want it. I'm going to stand. I still have it. And you got to think, if you're sitting and you look across the ring and the other guy's standing, kind of pacing around, talking to his corner, you're like, dude, I'm so exhausted I had to sit down, and that guy's not.
It's a mental game.
It's a mental game.
Even if I'm tired, I'll stand up.
You won't sit down. So,
nope. But you know what I'm going to start doing?
What's that?
In between each round, I'm going to lay down on the floor and I'm going to do some meditation breathing. Probably not really.
No, not really.
Not really. But if I could do that, and it would still be, if that dude could see me laying down and be intimidated, then I would do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's funny that you brought that. In the book that I'm reading right now, Handgun Combatives by Dave Spalding, he has a chapter on fitness, and he says pretty much exactly what we were talking about, how people think because they carry guns that they don't need to concern themselves with endurance or fitness. And he said, during a gunfight, are you just going to stand there, or are you going to move? Or what are you going to do when you thought you were going to stand there, and now you're knocked to the ground and you're rolling around? You need a little bit of endurance. And he said, how would you feel? And this is when Dave gets real serious. He goes, realizing that you don't have enough energy to continue and wondering what's going to happen to your family after this person kills you.
Yeah. That's a serious one.
Yeah, it's a serious one. And I'm going to get into the Handgun Combatives book in detail in a later episode, but it's a really good read. It's been out for a while. Dave just released recently a second edition to the first one, and he added some extra material to it.
Do you know what I'm tired of?
What are you tired of?
The fitness discussions. I'm tired of people saying, well, I don't have a weight set. I can't do any exercises. I can't exercise myself. I'm like, yes, you can.
The world is your gym.
The world is your gym. And do some body weight exercises. Calisthenics are really the best for endurance. And so push-ups, sit-ups, planks, bridges, squats. You know
how many times we lifted weights in Marine Corps Basic?
Probably zero.
The one thing we had a circuit training course. See, back then we just called it circuit training. We didn't call it CrossFit because they hadn't patented the term yet.
Yeah.
But you'd run around, you go to different circuits, pull-up bars, this one. And the only place on Parris Island where there was any weights was during the circuit. They had basically just like 30, 40-pound barbells, and you'd go there and they'd have you do an exercise, you drop them and you run to the next one. That was the only time. Everything else was just push-ups, mountain climbers, leg lifts. Lay on your back and lift your legs up and hold them there and see how long you can hold them. Flutter kicks, all that jazz.
Lunges, burpees.
You know what is your gym?
Your
gravity.
Gravity, yeah.
Gravity is your gym. Yeah. That's why you know.
Oh, and if you pull-ups, obviously, pull-ups and chin-ups, and they are different from each other. Yeah. And you're like, well, I need a pull-up bar. I bet you walk outside, there's a tree with a limb.
No, well, it's hard to do, but I bet you if you go to your local park.
Yeah,
they put them in parks. I don't know why they do that.
Monkey bars, that's what they call them.
They put pull-up bars in public parks. Go to a public park and sit there and watch. You could sit there. You could put a time-lapse camera on that pull-up bar, and not one person in 48 hours will come and pull themselves up.
Because it's hard.
Like, why did they put that there? No one's going to do that. Yeah, whatever.
And, okay, I'm going to throw out one term, and it's going to tease you. If you know what it is, then good. If you don't, I'm going to talk about it later, and it's supersets.
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 Da-da-da-da.
Those are your best friend.
Hey,
and worst enemy.
Fitness Talk, SWAT Fuel Fitness Talk is brought to you by SWAT Fuel, the sweetest smelling body fuel. No, that's not it. Never mind. Special weapons and tactics for the body. That's what SWAT Fuel is. Okay. All right. No, seriously, though, if you guys haven't been to SWATfuel.com lately, check those guys out. You know, we have a lot of friends who help us because, as Jared and I said earlier, doing all of it ourselves, Jared realized the other day, he said, you know what, Dad? And as he was in his office working on the website, he said, it occurred to me that I'm doing what a team of people normally does.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You can multitask. And that is true, that Jared does a lot what a team of people normally would be doing. I think a lot of people on the outside, when they see the stuff we produce, they must think that there's like a half a dozen dudes moving around in here doing stuff. And now we do have help sometimes on the outside. We pop smoke and we call for assistance every once in a while. And we've got a lot of good friends in the industry, and it's good to have friends. It's nice to have acquaintances, but it's better to have friends.
Speaking of friends, we need to call up, or I need to email Carol and set up a date for us to go up there and visit them.
Oh, and up in Missouri?
Yeah.
Up in Republic of Missouri?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Well, all right, here's what I'm about to do, ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages. I know you want me to talk about the Texas terror attack, and I'm going to do that. Before I do that, I want to thank our friends at Velocity Triggers and VelocityTriggers.com, designed for precision. Check them out. And Brownells also. Oh, one of our fans sent us a message that says Brownells does sell water, because I said they sold everything but water. I was wrong. They sell water too. So if you want to buy your emergency food and your emergency water from Brownells.com, you can do that. All right, Jared's got a theme song for us. We haven't played this theme song in a while, and I'm kind of excited about being able to do it. So hit it. Cool thing about the WASP music there, I had a pastor who's also a child of the 80s who wrote me an email and said, play more WASP.
There you go. You're welcome.
So he's not afraid of it. Texas terror attack, lessons learned. All right. For those of you that may have just come out of a cave or been so busy out in the field that you don't know,
Dude, I was kind of out of commission this weekend, and I know about it, so everybody has to know.
The religion of peace and brotherhood has struck again, and this one comes from the Daily Mail. You're like, why are you getting this from the Daily Mail? Well, quite frankly, we've got a lot of apologists in the American media that are trying to twist this and turn it around and make the good guys bad guys and the bad guys to be victims. But this is the story. This is a super SEO title. There's got to be 27 words in this title. Former terror suspect. He's a former terror suspect. Former terror suspect, well known to the FBI, is named as one of the two gunmen shot dead by cops after attack on anti-Islam Draw Muhammad art contest near Dallas. Woo! If that's not an SEO title, I don't know what is. The only thing they didn't put in there was like hashtag Lamborghini.
Or hashtag Rolex.
Hashtag Rolex. All right, so you're like, former terror suspect? Well, he's worm food now, so go team. Elton Simpson, age 30, and his roommate Nadir Sophie, age 34, were gunned down after shooting a guard in the leg outside the Curtis Colwell Center in Garland, Texas. And Garland is, your Texas geography, it is just... I believe it is northeast, a bit northeast of Dallas, of the greater Dallas-Fort Worth area. Simpson was convicted of lying to federal agents about traveling to Africa 5 years ago, but a judge ruled it could not be proved that he was going to join a terror group. He was trying to get to Somalia to go hang out with the brothers in Somalia there. Their Phoenix, this is the two... life partners here. Their Phoenix, Arizona home. Am I allowed to refer to them as life partners?
Yep.
We don't know for sure if they ever consummated or, if they ever, made it legal. But these two Muslim life partners in Arizona, their home was surrounded and they searched, yada, yada. And this all started because the American Freedom Defense Institute event had offered a $10,000 prize for the best caricature of the Prophet Muhammad. Local residents had expressed concerns about the event, but organizers said they were exercising free speech. The security guard who was shot was taken to the hospital and is in stable condition and has since been released. One traffic officer who was working the scene shot both men dead and has been praised by cops for potentially saving many lives. He didn't potentially save many lives. He did save many lives. And check this out. ISIS fighter claimed on Twitter that the shooting was carried out by pro-ISIS individuals. Where do we even start with all this horse hockey? Well, let me see. Let's start with this. Turns out, now, what have we told you about when the head of the Department of Homeland Security admits that people are going on these little Johnny Jihad vacations? They're going on these little vacations to Jordan and northern Iraq and Syria and so forth, and or maybe Somalia, and then they're getting on planes and flying right back here. They're doing their little not jihad, but their little fatwa vacations, right? And he said, well, yeah, we know that these guys who went over to train and fight with ISIS in Syria, well, we know that they're coming back. We can't stop them from coming back into the country, but fear not, because we're keeping a close eye on them. Do you guys remember that? Jared, do you remember that? It was like about 2 weeks ago when the Department of Homeland Security chief admitted that all these little Johnny Jihads that went on their terrorist vacations to Syria were coming back into the country. But don't worry.
Oh, yeah. But they're watching them.
We're keeping a close eye on them. Oh, are you?
So they can watch them shoot people?
So just like you kept a close eye on those two puke faces up in Boston, those little Chechen bombers, those guys? Oh, yeah, you're keeping a close eye on them, huh? And all these puke faces up in Minneapolis, these Somali refugees that just happen to also be Islamic terrorists, keeping a close eye on those guys. So rest easy, America. The Department of Homeland Security is keeping a close eye on these guys. Well, while they're keeping a close eye on them, they decided to go out and secure some AKs, and they were going to go on a killing spree in Texas. How'd that work out for them? Well, from these blue bags where there's nice pictures of blue bags where they bagged them up, it didn't work out real well. So little Johnny and his life partner, Johnny Jihad and Jimmy Jihad, decided that they were going to... Dude, you know what I'm seeing here?
Huh.
Remember how they said that they were AKs and so forth? And it says FBI investigators collect evidence, including a rifle, where the men were shot dead. You know what they're boxing up, what I can see that this thing is? It's a Kel-Tec Sub 2000.
I don't see where you're...
Scroll down. The story is the Daily Mail, and you scroll down. They're boxing up. They said...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Kel-Tec 9mm Sub 2000.
That's not an AK.
That's not an AK.
Maybe that was what the cop had.
No, he killed them with his service pistol.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, I know you're joking. But, now it said there's stories out there right now that said that they were wearing body armor. But, and I'm like, okay, let's stop for a second. They said that douche nozzle in the movie theater in Denver, Aurora, they said he was wearing body armor. Here's the thing. Did you know that the media in America thinks that a load-bearing vest is body armor?
Apparently.
Yeah, they think that any kind of a tactical-looking vest thing that you would put on your body is body armor. They don't differentiate. Kind of like they don't differentiate between a Glock and every other handgun on the planet. Remember the AR-15 shotgun?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, an AR-15 assault shotgun. Really? Man, that's cool. I wish I could find one of those. But yeah, it says that they were armed with fully automatic assault rifles, and I see the FBI boxing up a Kel-Tec Sub 2000. And I don't have a problem with the Kel-Tec Sub 2000. I think that's great. And they're not going to be able to use it now because they're currently worm food. Well, what happened? Little Johnny Jihads, they decided that they weren't down with this whole Prophet Muhammad, cartoon contest here. And being representatives of the religion of peace and brotherhood, they thought that the best way to spread their religion to the non-believer would be to murder them, because that's just what you do. And what's going on right now in the United States is we have people that are trying to, in our news media...
We have a war on the First Amendment.
Yeah, they're trying to make... You should have known better. Now, hang on a second. Hey, Jared, hey, can you think of a cartoon television show in the United States where they've done a depiction of Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
Name one.
When it was in the jar.
No. A cartoon TV show.
Oh, a cartoon TV show.
Yeah.
I don't know.
South Park?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really watch TV.
But you have in a past life, you have.
Yeah, but I haven't seen that.
Are you familiar with it? All right. South Park, Jesus. Okay.
I haven't seen Jesus.
Family Guy, Jesus. Okay. What you call it? That little claymation thing that Seth Green does. I think they have. My point is this: no one in Hollywood thinks twice about insulting Christians. No one in Hollywood thinks twice. Well, they think twice about insulting Jews because there are a lot of Hebrew people that work in Hollywood. But there's also a lot of self-hating Jews in Hollywood, too. But nobody thinks twice about insulting Christians by doing mocking Jesus. That's free speech. Hey, you can't stop us from making a cartoon show and making fun of Jesus in it. You're not allowed. Bill Maher can get on his TV show and do it all day long. Any other liberal puke-faced supposed comedian can do it all day long, and that's free speech. And Christians are the ones that we need to be aware of in America because they're always trying to force their way on us. They're trying to force us to believe like they do. And so someone says, okay, well, fair is fair. We're going to do a cartoon, Mohammed cartoon contest here. And everyone loses their minds. They're like, you can't do that. Don't you understand? That's insulting to their religion. And that's just inflaming them. That's just provoking them. Really? If they're the religion of peace and brotherhood, why should we be afraid? And that's the lie that no one will give voice to. Now, we've got another story here. I've got another link to a story that's got some specific details about these little Johnny Jihads. But I didn't want to get into it until Jared played the super special Religion of Peace theme song.
Das geht an die Oma des letzten Propheten Mohammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ich bin Allah so dankbar, ein Muslim sein zu dürfen. Das geht an die Oma, wir sind die Oma. Check das aus. Bismillah. Die Islam ist die Wahrheit. Say what? Wir folgen Mohammed. Wir folgen Mohammed.
I can't help myself. One of you suggested that we remove the pig and insert the goat, and so that's what Jared did. I wonder if any of the representatives of the Religion of Peace and Brotherhood listened to that and had to excuse themselves and go to a private room. They might have. Okay, this story comes to us from Politistic.com, and it says, second shooter in Texas attack has been identified, and guess what religion he is? He's not a Buddhist. He's not Shinto. No! Authorities have identified the second shooter in the attack participant as of the blah, 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 blah. It says Nadir Sofi was a Muslim Pakistani immigrant who lived with his life partner in Phoenix, Arizona. And but Elton Simpson was a convert. So that's what he was, a convert to the religion of peace and tolerance and brotherhood. Now, here's what's interesting about this is they've unearthed, Front Page Mag's Daniel Greenfield, he's looking to get his head chopped off, unearthed some disturbing facts about Sophie. Is it Sufi or Sophie? It's Sierra Oscar Frank India. Would that be Sufi or Sophie? Or Safi? I'm not sure. I'm not really digging the goat lover lingity there. But not only did Safi rant about his hatred for America and Israel, you understand, on social media, he also hated dogs. Now, so riddle me this, Batman. So here's a guy who's in Phoenix, Arizona, sucking up all the good things that the U.S. of A. has to offer, at the same time complaining about how much he hates it. Get on a plane and go back to Pakistan, puke face. Well, maybe they'll bury his bones over there. But it says Sophie also expressed how much he hated dogs. How do you PETA people feel about that? On the other hand, Sophie loved the far leftist Noam Chomsky, as well as radical Islamic terrorists. In addition, he also loved Jesse Ventura, the unhinged, controversial former governor of Minnesota, most recently in the news for suing the widow of Chris Kyle. Sophie wrote about his disdain for dogs, saying, "Man can protect his life and health by keeping a safe distance from dogs. He should not hug them, play with them, or let them come close to children. Children should be taught not to play with dogs or fondle them." That right there, you wonder why these people are so effed up. I can say effed up, can't I?
Yeah.
Fornicated up. Who doesn't like like dogs? I mean, I can see, the cat thing, but come on. So Sophie was not shy about his writings about his devotion to Islam, and even worked actively to convert young men who were in prison. Isn't that wonderful? That's so great, spreading the peace and love and brotherhood. His Facebook page is full of likes from the usual Islamic figures, including Abu Rahim Mahrin, a Muslim convert and violent bigot whose organization is also linked to ISIS jihadists. Also listed were the usual suspect Sheikh Khalid Yassin, Zakir Naik, who invariably show up on the jihadist social media sites. Jihadists have social media sites. That's just sick. But alongside them were Noam Chomsky and Jesse Ventura. A man who hated dogs and loves Noam Chomsky has absolutely no soul, says the opinion here. So, federal agents are now investigating to determine whether the two acted alone were part of an international terrorist organization. Does it even matter? Jared, let's say that they find out. Are they going to do anything about it? Or are they going to keep a close eye on them?
They'll probably just keep watching them until a Texas police officer shoots them.
Till Texas has to clean up their garbage for them. That's what it is. So the state of Texas the Republic has to clean up the federal government's trash because they can't take care of business. Because, let's face it, folks, they don't want to take care of business. Do you believe that the current administration in Washington really has any interest in keeping foreign terrorists or Americans who went over and played terrorists or who tried to get over and join with terrorists? Do they have any concern or desire to keep these people out of the United States? You know what it is, Jared? They're focusing so hard on all these evil Christian bakeries and pizza shops and florists that they just don't have time to worry about these little jihadists running around, hating on dogs and loving on Noam Chomsky. What's the difference between Charlie Hebdo and Texas? Immediate armed response. And before we close out, I got a story from Clash Daily right here. And it says, Texas officer is a badass. They used the ampersand for the A in the title. Texas officer, badass, armed with just pistol. Stop it, stupid computer. Armed with just his pistol, takes on two terrorists, killing them both, and RTFO. Now, what's the difference between Texas and Boston? In Texas, they didn't say there's suspects at large or there might be suspects at large and, tell everyone they have to stay at home and declare martial law. No, the Texas officers are walking around talking to people. And the armed people at the event are like, hey, can we get in on this? They're like, yes, calm down. There's enough for everybody. Everybody's going to get some. Just calm down now. All right. And they're like, oh, come on, man. I can't. Here's the deal. Do you not think? All right, I'm glad that they had police officers, and these cops were loaded for bear. Basically, what they did was they set a trap. They live baited this trap, and these guys, they fell for it, and now they're worm food. And go team. There's two less terrorists in America. Do you think if these dudes would have made it to the front door that they would have lasted inside? I feel pretty strongly that there were several, if not most, of the citizens at this event were armed. They would have looked like Swiss cheese, even more like Swiss cheese than they did. So, hey, word to your mother there, Johnny Jihad. Bring it. I'm your Huckleberry. You want some? Let's get it on. Marvin Gaye, as Marvin Gaye said, let's get it on. You got anything else to say, Jared?
I wish I had that song queued.
He's just sitting over there shaking his head. He's like, I don't even know what else to say. All right, you got one more thing you need to say, and then we're going to sign off for the day, and we'll be back on Thursday.
Yeah, I was just going to say, have you seen the new logo for AAFU?
AAFU?
Yeah.
No.
The eagle with the American flag and...
Oh, yeah, the red, white, and blue one?
Yeah.
It's
pretty badass. And I just want to let you guys know that shirt is available to pre-order right now. Go to AmericanAssociationOfFU.com. Show Jeremy some support. Head on over there, pre-order your shirt. And I like this shirt personally. I like the shirt better than the initial one.
How long is this Pamela Geller interview? You want to just drop it in there?
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Is it pretty long?
Yeah.
Should we do it tomorrow?
No. Well, maybe.
We're already at 46 minutes.
Yeah, this is 13 minutes.
Oh, okay. We're going to have to do it tomorrow then.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to put this out there. And so I don't know how many of our listeners have heard it.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we save it for tomorrow? That'll give them a reason to come back.
Okay. We'll do
right.
that tomorrow.
All right. So, yeah, AAFU, American Association of Firearms Users, AAFU Nation. I'm sure they're on Gun District, right?
I don't know.
They're on Facebook. They're on Twitter. They should be on Gun District.
Jeremy, if you're not on Gun District, you better
get on there. Yeah. I'm sure that he is.
Yeah.
All right. Show him some love. Check out the new shirts.
It looks like, I'm looking at the store right now. It looks like he's got an ebook or something.
An ebook?
The No Excuses Guide to Everyday Carry ebook.
Really?
AAFU logo shirt pre-order. Yeah, that's the one that I want. I want that shirt with his logo.
The American Association of FU.com.
You click on the little store button and it'll take you there.
Okay,
they got some other stuff here too. They got some news, some giveaways, cart. Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Cat in the Hat and that be that. Play the music, hippie.
I'm getting there.
He's getting there. He's going to play the music.
Too many buttons and not enough fingers.
Buttons, fingers, switches, dials. I don't know what to do. Here's what I know what to do. I'm going to go get Powerade or something and maybe hit the gym. You freaks, come back with us tomorrow. And until then, remember, you're a beginner once, but you should indeed be a student for life.